Hey there, Steve Bentley here, Bentley Coaching, and I just want to go over a awesome ab exercise that I do regularly because I don't want to do the kind of ab exercise that's going to make my stomach bigger. I want it nice and lean, I want it nice and flat, and I found out that if I can do more of an isometric contraction for my abdominals, it's going to save my lower back, so it's going to feel a lot better as I'm doing it, but it's also going to make my abs a lot stronger, but in a way that I can actually use them. Because when I'm walking or I'm running or I'm riding my bike, I'm not doing this kind of activity when I'm doing those other sports. So I want to make sure I'm getting my abs strong in a way that I can actually use them. So I'm going to do an isometric contraction. Isometric means I'm not changing the length of the muscle when I contract it, whereas a concentric contraction would be if I'm doing crunches, for example. So if I'm doing a crunch and I'm shortening the muscle as I contract it, I'm doing that regularly. Okay, yeah, I'm probably going to get my muscle strong, but not in a very effective way for what I want to use it for, but it's also going to make it bigger. It's going to be like doing a bicep curl with a weight. I'm concentrically contracting that muscle because I want to make it bigger. Why do I want to do that with my abs? I don't. So I'm going to do an isometric contraction. And the other activity or contraction that we're going to do is eccentric. So there's isometric, which is keeping the length the same, concentric, which is shortening the muscle, or eccentric, which is lengthening the muscle. I want to focus on the isometric contraction. So I'm going to show you a quick little exercise. It takes about 7 minutes. So I'm not going to do the whole thing because I just want to explain in a lot more detail. But go through it. I'm going to do a couple of reps of each of the 4 sets that I'm going to do. But you're going to end up doing 10 of these. And they're not completely difficult, but it's hard initially when you're focusing on it because you want to get the right activity. So here's what you're actually going to do. You're going to focus on getting into a nice comfortable position. I've got a weight here that we're going to use in a minute. This is going to be for the last set. But for the first 3 sets, all I'm going to do is lay down here like this, and I'm going to get into the proper position to activate the muscle effectively each time. So I'm going to do that 40 times, and each set, each rep is going to last 10 seconds. Right? So I'm going to do a set that's 10 like activations. I'm going to take a break and I'm going to switch to a different activity. I'm going to show you a couple of each of these 4 different exercises that I'm going to do. But the most important part is to get into the right position. So I want to lay like this first of all. The end position is going to be like this. It's not a big contraction. I'm just going to get into a position like this. I'm going to lay flat. I'm going to breathe out because I want to lift my diaphragm up out of the way so I can draw my stomach down as much as I possibly can towards my spine. It's almost, you can call them vacuums because you're trying to vacuum your stomach down into your spine. You're trying to hold that muscle. So pull up the diaphragm up out of the way by breathing out. You can feel it come up. Suck the stomach down. And then I'm going to activate that muscle. Just a slight contraction there, but really holding the length static. So now isometrically contracting that muscle. And I'm going to hold that for 10 seconds. That's it. That's the activity. And I'm going to take a break. Breathe in. Let some more oxygen come into my muscles. So I'm going to do this one without talking. So I'm going to breathe out, lift the diaphragm up, suck the stomach in, hold that for 10 seconds, and I'm going to take a break. Here we go. That's it. So I'm going to do that 10 of those for that motion or that maneuver. And then I'm going to switch. I'm going to do a little bit of a cross here. So not this activity, right? Again, we're still not getting into that big crunch or sit up, but I'm going to just activate the muscle at a different angle. Draw in, diaphragm up out of the way, hold it for 10 seconds. It's a great action. It's like really activates that muscle. And after you've done 10 sets of each of these 4 activities or exercises, you're just shaking at the end. Your abs are just on fire when you're shaking it. But it only takes like 7 minutes, right? 6 minutes and 40 seconds of actual work, and you're taking a few seconds break in between each one. So I'm going to do that one again. 5 seconds left. Then I'm going to switch legs, do the same thing the other way, slightly different angle. I'm going to do 10 of those. And then the last one that I would do, so I'm going to grab the weight. You don't have to do a weight, but I just want to get a little bit more of a sort of pull up on that. Same thing, sit, diaphragm up out of the way. And you're going to do 10 of those. So that's the activity. I think you'll find that it's actually a really effective way of building up the strength in your abdominals, because when you get good core strength and you can combine that with the plyometric strength that we posted the other day about building up the explosive strength in your muscles and your legs and your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings, and you compare that with a good core strength activity where you're building up the strength of that muscle in a way that you're going to use it on an ongoing basis. You can do this now. You can activate that muscle just in general all the time in a light way, and you're going to have much better posture. So when you're sitting at work, or you're sitting at the car, when you're driving around, or you're walking, or if you're exercising, right, when you go out for a run or you're riding your bike, you're going to have much better core activation. And then all the strength that you generate and power that you generate in your limbs, so your arms, your legs, now that energy is going to go through your core, it's going to hit a stable base, and you're going to be able to generate a lot more power to move forward, whether you're running or cycling or swimming. And, a lot of times we get people focusing on their swim stroke, and they actually get better core activation. They start to launch through the water a lot more effectively. So anyways, great little exercise. It's 6 minutes and, 40 seconds worth of action. I think it's 10 times 40, so it's at 400. Yeah, so 6 minutes and 40 seconds worth of work. You got a couple seconds in there, break between each exercise, so about 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes max. You're going to be able to rip through this whole exercise, and you're going to have an amazing reaction to it. Within a week or two, you're going to start to feel a whole lot better if you do that, say, every other day. Don't go crazy and do it every day. Every other day, try that, 3-4 times a week. You're going to be on track to have a much stronger core. And when your core is stronger, a lot of the other issues that are compensatory, where if your core is weak, your lower back starts to take a lot of that effort, that's going to start to alleviate, and you're going to start to feel a lot better, a lot more connected, and you're going to be a lot more powerful and a lot more efficient in any activity that you're doing. So good luck with that. Have fun. Click on my face there. If you're on YouTube here, you're going to be able to get connected to some of my subscriptions here, and I'm going to always post good, hopefully good content that's going to be useful for you, so that you can utilize that really quickly and use to get healthier, improve your performance, just feel and look better. I'm 53. I don't want to look and feel like I'm 53. I want to make sure that I'm staying on top of things so that I'm feeling decades younger than I actually am, and I do. So hopefully we can